Hello and welcome. Do you want to learn English in a fun way? Today, we have a special story for you, Ellie and the Singing Frogs. In this story, you will learn new words in English, including colors, numbers, and simple verbs. And the best part, you will learn through music. To make the most of this lesson, be sure to turn on the subtitles and repeat the words with me. This will help improve your pronunciation and confidence in speaking English. Now, let's begin our story. Ellie is a curious little cat who loves to explore the world around her. One day, she walks through the forest near her home and hears something unusual. At first, she thinks it is just the wind moving through the trees, but as she gets closer to the lake, she realizes it is something else. What could it be? Ellie's adventure is about to begin, and she will discover something truly special. Stay with me and follow along as she learns something new today. It was a bright and peaceful morning in the forest. The sun shone high in the sky, casting golden light over the trees. Birds chirped happily, and a gentle breeze rustled the leaves. The air smelled fresh, filled with the scent of flowers and damp earth. Ellie, a small gray cat with bright green eyes, walked along a narrow dirt path. She loved mornings like this, when everything felt calm and full of possibilities. Her soft paws barely made a sound as she stepped over fallen leaves. She approached a large lake at the center of the forest. The water sparkled, reflecting the blue sky. Ellie often came here to watch the fish swim, but today, something was different. She heard a strange sound. At first, it was soft, like a whisper. Then, it grew louder. Ribbit, ribbit, ribbit. Ellie stopped and tilted her head. She had heard frogs before, but this was different. The sound wasn't just random croaking, it had a rhythm. It almost sounded like singing. Curious, she moved closer to the water. The sound became clearer. Ribbit, ribbit, 1. Ribbit, ribbit, 2. Ellie's ears perked up. Were the frogs counting? She crouched low, hiding behind a bush, and watched the lake carefully. A group of frogs sat on the lily pads, moving in perfect harmony. Their voices rose and fell in a pattern. Ellie's tail flicked with excitement. She had never seen anything like this before. She took a deep breath and stepped out from behind the bush. She had to know more. Ellie stepped closer to the water's edge, her eyes wide with curiosity. The frogs sat in a neat row on the lily pads, swaying gently as they continued their song. Each time they croaked, they formed a rhythm, repeating words Ellie had never heard from animals before. 1 green frog, 2 green frogs, 3 green frogs, singing in the pond. Ellie's ears twitched. She had heard humans speak like this, but never animals. She took another step forward and called out. "Hello," she said, her voice bright. "What are you doing?" The largest frog in the center turned his head toward her. His skin was deep green, and his golden eyes sparkled. "We are singing," the frog said in a friendly tone. "Do you want to learn?" Ellie's tail flicked behind her. "Singing? But you're also counting." "Yes," the frog croaked. "Singing helps us remember words. Do you want to try?" Ellie hesitated for a moment. She loved learning new things, but she had never sung before. Still, the frogs looked like they were having fun. "Okay," she said, sitting down near the water. The big frog nodded. "Listen carefully. We will start slow." He cleared his throat, then began again. 1 green frog, 2 green frogs, 3 green frogs. Ellie listened, then tried to copy. 1 green frog, 2 green frogs, 3 green frogs. The frogs clapped their tiny webbed hands. Very good, the big frog said. Now, let's add colors. He pointed at the small frogs beside him. This one is green, this one is blue, and this one is yellow. Ellie looked at them closely and nodded. Now repeat after me, the frog said. One green frog, one green frog, Ellie echoed. Two blue frogs, two blue frogs, three yellow frogs, three yellow frogs. The frogs cheered. Ellie felt a warm sense of accomplishment. She was learning. See, the big frog said. Singing makes learning fun. Ellie grinned. She never thought she would learn English from frogs, but here she was, counting and naming colors with them. Ellie's ears perked up as she repeated the words again. The rhythm of the frog's song made it easy to remember. One green frog, two blue frogs, three yellow frogs. She smiled. Learning this way felt natural. The big frog hopped forward and gave her an encouraging nod. Good job, Ellie, he said. Now, let's practice some more. Do you remember the numbers? Ellie thought for a second. 1, 2, 3. She answered confidently. That's right, the frog said. Now, let's try something new. What color is the sky? Ellie glanced up. Blue, and what color are the trees? Green, the frogs clapped again. Great. Now, let's put everything together. The big frog pointed at Ellie. Ellie, how many frogs do you see? Ellie looked at them carefully. She counted in her head, then spoke. I see 5 frogs. Very good, the frog said. But what colors are we? Ellie took another moment to observe. 2 green frogs, 2 blue frogs, and 1 yellow frog. Yes, the frogs croaked in excitement. The big frog smiled. Now, let's review everything. Numbers. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Colors. Green, blue, yellow. Sentences. I see 5 frogs. The sky is blue. The trees are green. Ellie repeated each sentence with confidence. She could feel herself improving. See, Ellie? The big frog said. With practice, you can learn anything. Ellie's tail flicked happily. She was having fun, and she was learning. Ellie felt excited. She had learned numbers, colors, and simple sentences all through singing with the frogs. But she wanted to try more. She looked around the lake, searching for new things to describe. Her eyes landed on a butterfly resting on a flower. The butterfly is yellow, she said aloud. The big frog nodded. Yes, very good. Now, what color is the flower? Ellie studied it for a moment. Red, the frogs clapped again. See? You are learning quickly. Ellie looked up at the trees swaying gently in the breeze. She pointed with her paw. The leaves are green. The lake is blue. The sun is yellow. The big frog smiled. Now you can describe the world around you. Ellie felt proud. She had never realized how much fun learning could be. The frogs jumped up onto a rock and started a new song. 1 green frog, 2 blue frogs, 3 yellow frogs. Learning is fun when you sing along. Ellie joined in, repeating the words with them. She laughed as her voice mixed with theirs. She wasn't just learning, she was enjoying every moment. Ellie sat by the lake, feeling proud of what she had learned. Numbers, colors, and even full sentences, she had practiced them all with the frogs. The big frog smiled at her. Ellie, learning is like singing. The more you practice, the better you become. Ellie nodded. And it's fun, too. She stood up, stretching her paws. Thank you for teaching me. I will keep practicing. The frogs croaked happily. Come back anytime." As Ellie walked away, she repeated the words in her head. She knew that with time and practice, she would only improve. Learning was an adventure, and this was just the beginning.